What's the best example of men not understanding a woman's body that you've ever heard? I knew a guy who thought that girls could control when they started their periods. Like, he thought they needed to have them monthly but that they could start them at specific times as was convenient. Sometimes I don't know what the hell is going on in people's heads. Also knew a guy who thought girls always found sex painful, and that guys shouldn't stop just because they say it hurts, be it always hurts for them. That was honestly kinda scary. That women always lactate, some more than others. This is why bras have different levels of padding to them to soak up the excess milk. You know, in case you didn't currently have a baby to feed it to. This logic was courtesy of an ex-boyfriend who was brave enough to ask what I did with my milk, as I obviously did not have kids. I told him it was being made into artisan cheese for the Saturday farmers market at the park in downtown. My professor not letting women go to the bathroom if they're on the period, it is infuriating. Knew a guy who genuinely believed women having orgasms were a myth or disorder because only male orgasms do anything, so a female having an orgasm is pointless. My sister knew a guy in high school who thought women had 5 holes, 1 for piss, on for periods, 1 for sex, 1 for birth, 1 for s. Luckily she corrected him. I'm picturing the holes on a recorder or a flute. Just wow. I've had to explain to men that lubrication and urine aren't the same thing. I've also had to explain to these same men that menstruation and urination don't come from the same orifice. These same men have never gone down on a woman because that's just gross. She pees out of that hole but expect blowjobs while their girlfriend is on her period. I am a straight man. I am so sorry for a lot of women. My ex-boyfriend told me he wanted to lick my aorta during phone sex. He was referencing my breasts. Many years ago I dated a guy who thought women's periods came on the first of the month like rent. Recently saw a TikTok comment from a guy saying women can only get pregnant on their periods. Came here to say the same thing. I knew a guy that thought women only got pregnant while on their period. He had a lot of kids, and said he wouldn't have sex with a woman while on her period, so the comment made him sound more dumb. No, there isn't just one hole that the milk comes out of the nipple. There's many areas where the milk comes out for breastfeeding. It's not a hose, more like a shower head. A poorly designed shower head that can spray in all directions. LOL. The one where the guy thought virgins don't have vaginas, it's his responsibility as her first sexual partner to make the hole. I'm not a Capri Sun, thank you very much. Kid in my class thought women had 2 holes and they peed and pooped from the same one. I think he means birds. I too sometimes confuse human females with birds. A coworker who got drunk at a work event and started complaining that his arranged marriage wife must be cheating on him because she was now wet and receptive to his advances instead of avoiding him because it hurt. Men who think we get turned on by inserting tampons. I dated a guy who thought periods lasted a month, tampons were pleasurable to put in, women pee out of their vaginas and that they can hold in their periods. I think the worst thing though was that he thought he knew better than me how to give me an orgasm. I would tell him his hand was in the wrong place, and he would argue with me about it and move it back to wherever he thought it should be. Women do not pee out of their vaginas. This has been a public service announcement. When my husband and I first got married, he was annoyed by how much toilet paper we were going through. Turns out he didn't know women have to wipe every time they use the restroom, even just to pee. We joke about it now, but wow. Well, you know, people always want to try to make that as one of those things. Well, how do you slice this particularly tough sort of ethical question? First of all, from what I understand from doctors, that's really rare. If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down. Todd Akin, House Representative from Missouri in 2012 on pregnancies resulting from rape. An argument on the bus between 2 guys talking about a friend having no success with VE. They were fighting about this, meaning she was impregnable or inconceivable. Men on TikTok explaining how tight a woman's vagina should be. I've also seen them try to tell women how to clean it. Kinda disturbing how wrong some people are. Rush Limbaugh saying that Sandra Fluke, testifying before Congress, was promiscuous because she took a birth control pill every day. He thought she only needed to take one on days when she had sex. Al once had to correct a PhD at male college professor about how birth control pills work. He used them as an example of medication compliance in class, but he was wrong about his example. Mine might be common, but I still am kinda baffled how dumb I was. I thought I was king of oral. I'd go down at any time and stay down there until the sun set. But I was just licking the labia/vulva/whatever the technical term is. If I hit the clit, it was just because I was all over the place. Finally had a girlfriend simply say stay up top. Game changer, probably more for her than me. Find the clit. Be gentle with it. Get rewarded. Just because a woman is in a bad mood doesn't mean looks like someone's on their period. My ex telling me women rarely orgasm, so really it's no wonder I never orgasm with him, so meh. I replaced him with a Hitachi magic wand for my sexual needs and a dog for my social needs and exercise buddy. Bye. My husband's friend was upset when his pregnant wife had to get a transvaginal ultrasound because the ultrasound wand was long and he thought she might like it. Tell me you're a bad lover without telling me you're a bad lover. Sheesh. I've met both men and women who think that every woman is taking a birth control pill. As if every teenage girl just starts taking it, in the same way that they start wearing bras and buying tampons/pads. I know, some women are choosing not to do those things, either. It may be a very common form of BC, but not all women want to deal with the side effects. My wife and I are two women and we had our son through IVE. When I told my dad I was pregnant, he asked if we knew the gender yet, and then stopped himself and said, "Oh, never mind. Obviously it's a girl since you are both women." Like many other people mentioned on this thread, he has a PhD. Friend told me a guy at her school was complaining some girl he f'd was dry as hell. He apparently didn't realize that was a self-report. Seem quite a few passages from books with male authors who seem to think boobs are sentient and change upon a woman's mood. Like she is cheered up so her boobs perk up. A guy I was dating told me not to worry about using protection. He was just going to jerk off one time first and then pull out. All those three brothers have made their girlfriends pregnant by accident within a short amount of time. In middle school during our swim unit, my friend asked to sit out because she was on her period and only used pads. Our male gym instructor told her to shove a tampon up her ass and get in the pool. Good friend, conservative Catholic Portuguese family, only ever had one girlfriend, at this time. In the university gym, good-looking young lady is on one of those machines where you sit with a pad on the inside of each thigh, spread your thighs then bring them in again against the weight. Maybe you can picture it. Anyway, friend observes this, nudges me and says I love watching them work out their clits. I love him dearly, but I had a friend in high school who thought that human eggs are the same size as chicken eggs that you buy at the grocery store. He had sat through multiple sex ed lessons that describe the many processes eggs are a part of at that point. Luckily, he didn't keep that belief for long, since literally everyone immediately told him what the F? No as soon as he said it. Once had a man tell me that I wasn't a virgin because used tampons. Someone on Twitter complained about a censorship made on a female character from Tokyo Mirage Session, a game, and he said, not only did they remove her cleavage, but they also removed her vagina bones. Ever since this was tweeted in 2016, everyone has been laughing at him, even today. I'll never forget in high school a teacher overheard one kid telling another that there are two holes in a PS and he always uses the other one cause it's so much tighter, and she laughed and explained that if he can get his PN in a girl's urethra then it must be smaller and skinnier than a toothpick. My father told me when I was starting to get my period and complaining about it that if I wanted to stop bleeding I should just exercise more because he knew a young woman who exercised a lot and her period went away. This is technically true because once you get dangerously underweight your body will stop ovulating, but why the F are you encouraging that? Please do your research at it. At the time I was swimming about 15 plus hours per week for a club team. I really don't think I needed more exercise. My dad had no idea that women's periods didn't happen like clockwork. How could you not know you were pregnant? Well, Dad, some women don't get a period. Some women have irregular periods and some women get a period during pregnancy. He was floored. There has been a political discussion in Denmark on making hygiene products available at all public toilets. A male politician stood up at our parliament's podium and literally said, "Should we have free underpants available too? I don't run around and S myself. Women can just hold in their periods like I hold in my S." I was shook. A 23-year-old man told me with complete certainty that women's vaginas stay the size of the largest thing that's been in them. Apparently this is why so many men cheat on their wives after the wives give birth. Because their vaginas stay baby-sized. This man also thought that women have to wear tampons every time they swim so their vaginas don't fill with water. I'm a birth doula. The list of things can fill a book, but the latest one, how long is a birth? 2 to 4 hours tops. Right? Why are you getting a doula? They can't push for you.